Hi everyone, welcome back to PrettyWell. Dr. Angela here with you.
Hi, Dr. Patty.
In this video, we're going to cover NAC, stands for N-acetylcysteine. It's an amino acid that Dr. Patty and I both love to use, both personally and with our patients. So we're going to talk about why it's so great. So NAC is a precursor to a molecule called glutathione. Many of you have heard about it before. Glutathione is a major antioxidant, so it's a protector of all of our cells, and it's a major detoxifier in the body.
It's really been called the body's most powerful antioxidant and a super antioxidant.
Yeah, so antioxidant and detoxifier. And so when we take NAC, it supercharges our cells on the inside with their glutathione levels. You can definitely take glutathione directly, but it's much more expensive. It's far more cost effective to take NAC. So we both use it daily in our own supplement routines and use it in many of our patients' protocols as well for various things. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about some of the various functions that NAC has in the body. So like we said, antioxidant. So that's things like, if someone is doing exercise and you create something called free radical damage, it quenches those free radicals, so it protects your cells from aging, helps do restoration after exercise.
Because even though exercise is really good for us, it actually can create a little bit of inflammation. It can break down a little bit of tissue. And rewinding a little bit, free radicals are created either in the environment, in our body, and free radicals destroy things, to put it
causes
very
breakdown.
Simply. So that could be, our collagen and creating wrinkles, to everything to degenerative brain health or our blood vessels. So anytime there's free radicals, we want antioxidants to get in there and sort of scavenge them up.
Yep.
And that's what NAC does. And just to rewind a little bit, you can also take NAC and glutathione together.
Absolutely.
Partly, Dr. Angela mentioned, glutathione does tend to be a little bit more pricey, but it also can sometimes be difficult to fully absorb into the system. So sometimes it's given, I know you've done, you do IV therapy sometimes in your office. I don't, but in the past. And so, or other doctors who do IV therapy, so sometimes they'll add glutathione. But NAC, like, before we get into all of this, the greatest benefit is that it's cheap.
It's much cheaper. Absolutely.
So anyway, so back to the exercise. Sorry, I got down a little tangent.
It's great.
There.
Our brains just go. We have lots of thoughts. So you had mentioned too, though, that anti-inflammatory. So definitely anti-inflammatory functions to NAC, and also NAC has some different properties as well. So it's not like they do the same thing, but it is a precursor to glutathione. So with the anti-inflammatory, this was very interesting. We were reading some stuff. I had no idea, but there's information about the flu and how people who take NAC consistently are protected from getting the flu. But if you do get the flu, that you actually are much less symptomatic because there are these molecules in the body called cytokines that make inflammation, and NAC turns that process down. So that was a major thing that I learned.
It'll help shorten the severity, the length. So really good for the flu.
And the symptoms of the flu, too, that you won't have symptoms that are severe if you catch the flu.
So really speaking of, also in the sort of upper respiratory infection or illness realm, historically, you may have even taken NAC, or if you work with a naturopathic doctor, may have been prescribed it. It's very commonly used for congestive upper respiratory lung issues. So when you have a lot of mucus, because it breaks down that mucus. So
it thins it out.
It's what's called a mucolytic. So we'll thin and break down mucus. So if you've got a cold with like a very productive cough, or a cough and you can feel the phlegm in there, but it won't come up or come out, NAC is going to be really helpful for that. And I've used that for myself as well as patients for lung health.
Definitely. So for acute, so for cold and flu, like we just said, and then also for some of the more chronic lung cases too, like people who have COPD, who have maybe smoked for a long time or different things like that, and chronically make a lot of thicker mucus in the lungs. It can really be helpful to get that up and out.
And if you have COPD, you make all this mucus, but you can't get it out. So to be able to thin it is going to be really helpful.
Absolutely. So this is one of the ways that NAC is really good for lung health. Another thing, we talk a lot about blood sugar regulation. NAC is really helpful at insulin receptor sensitivity, so helping us with our blood sugar regulation. Another really great feature of taking NAC.
And if you guys want us to do a separate video just all about really kind of explaining a little bit more clearly what insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity is, let us know, because that is kind of a larger topic, and to get into really explaining what that is and how it can affect you can be helpful. So I spend a lot of time explaining that to my patients. So if you guys want us to talk about that, let us know in the comments below. So yeah, as Dr. Angela was saying, good for blood sugar regulation, insulin resistance. It's also helpful for H. pylori, which is a bacteria that is in our stomach. And kind of a side conversation is that some studies show that H. pylori is commensal or normal for your body. Some people, some doctors, some studies show that it's the cause or contributor to ulcers. So there's a little bit of debate there about the role of H. pylori, but definitely NAC has been shown to improve the sort of pathology of what can happen with
in two ways. So what I was reading, and this was actually new to me too, I was like, oh, so interesting, all these additional roles. I know, I love it. That it's an anti-inflammatory, and so in that way helps protect the stomach lining, because so H. pylori can be associated with more gastric ulcers, but it also actually inhibits the replication of that bacteria. So it's pretty neat. One of the reasons I started using NAC daily in my routine is I really wanted some more help with my detox pathways, and it's a major helper in the detoxification role. So just really balancing out my hormones. But the way it kind of started as a regular thing for me is years ago, I was sick and I had to take an antibiotic because I just couldn't kick it. And the antibiotic was making me so sick, and I was nauseous and I had headaches, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to finish this course of antibiotics. I don't know what to do. And it just dropped into my consciousness to go get some NAC. I love how our intuition works that way sometimes, and it completely took away all of the symptoms / side effects I was having of the antibiotics. And I was able to complete the course of the antibiotics. I think I was like day 3 at that point, and it was like a 7-day course. And so I was able to get through it.
Yeah, it probably worked as an antioxidant, as an anti-inflammatory to combat the side effects.
And a detox to help the liver clear the antibiotic as well.
And just to reiterate, NAC is the building block or helps to make more glutathione. And glutathione not only is the super antioxidant, but it has a crucial role in the liver.
Huge.
So specific to the liver. And so that's why when we keep talking about NAC being for detox, it's partially because it's going to replenish and make more of this glutathione that sits in the liver in addition to traveling throughout the whole body as a super antioxidant. And for me, I also use NAC personally as well as with patients for endometriosis. So some of you may know I had a pretty intense surgery last year for my endometriosis, and sort of off the record, so this is just between us, I don't think there's any double-blind placebo studies on NAC being like fibrolytic or proteolytic per se, meaning kind of breaking down tissue. But if you think about NAC thinning mucus, I do think of it again intuitively as it's sort of helping to lower inflammation, break down essentially, And so if nothing else, it will help with endometriosis because it's helping with the liver, and the liver makes as well as metabolizes our hormones. So there's a huge connection to our hormones. But I do feel intuitively that it's also helping with the actual endometriosis tissue and scar tissue, perhaps. This is just, again, just between us, not something, again, that is going to come up in a lot of studies, but it will help on the liver front. So it still will help with endometriosis. So, and you had also mentioned both of our families have some neurodegenerative
Quite a bit.
Family history, brain issues, dementia, things like that, Parkinson's. And so we both love it for protecting the brain as well.
Definitely.
And Dr. Angela just did a great video, first of a series about brain health. And so don't forget to watch that. We'll try to link it right there in the eyes like we try to do in the cards. And so that'll pop up and you can watch that. So NAC, it's brilliant. It's does so many amazing things. It's like Dr. Angela said, I'm like, it's just cheap, but she's cost effective, a much more diplomatic way of saying it. And we'll link a couple of our favorite formulas that are just straight up NAC in the description box below that you can get through our dispensary.
Yep. At a 10% discount?
Yeah, everyone gets a 10% discount. So check that in the description box. And Hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it.
Share with anyone you think it'll help, and let us know what you guys want to keep learning about, and we'll keep making content for you. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you.